You cannot stop my shine.
Yeah.
You cannot run me dry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hi guys, welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? I hope you are doing good. I hope you are doing fine. Yeah, so welcome back to my channel. Today I want to give you a story time. Today is time for a story time. Okay, so today I want to share with you guys how I got saved. Yes, so just grab your coffee, grab your tea, whatever you got, and yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy the story. Yeah, I think it's a really funny story when I think about it now. But I'm just gonna give you the short version. But yeah, so okay, I'm gonna try to keep it short. It's actually very long. So yeah, it started up in 2016. In 2016, like, I didn't believe in Jesus at all. Like, my mom is a Christian, obviously, but I used to go to church because just to make mom happy, but not because it came from my heart. But yeah, in 2016 I was still living with my mom. Hi mom. And yeah, so I was still living at home. I was about 21, and I was getting ready to I was trying to figure out where I wanted to study, and I actually already found a school I wanted to study. I wanted to work in healthcare, and I have actually decided that I wanted to move to a bigger city. I wanted to live on my own and study in another city, in a bigger city, in Berlin. And yeah, but I was in a relationship. I was having like a long distance relationship with a guy for like 2 years already. And yeah, so I was still in a relationship with this guy in 2016, and this guy lived in Hamburg. And yeah, so he we had this long distance relationship. Where my mom lived and where my boyfriend, like my ex-boyfriend, used to live was like, let's say, 3 hours drive away. So we had this relationship, like, let's just keep it short, okay? This guy was, he was good looking. He was modeling. He was fine. Chocolates was there.
And then come and see swag. Come and see his six pack. Chai, he was hot.
The body was making sense.
But the things he said and the things he did was not making sense. He was just fine
The
for
rest
nothing.
was not making sense. But at that time, I didn't really know. I had a very low self-esteem, and I didn't know my worth. So this relationship was not a good relationship for me. This guy was quite manipulative, and yeah, so this guy was just not the right guy for me. I knew it, but I had hopes that he was gonna change. I was just like, I see so much potential.
Hold up a minute. Wait. Ladies, this is how the man will be twisting our hearts. We'll be pounding our hearts like pounded yam. And we are still there saying we see potential in him. Ladies, we need to stop this.
In him and whatever. So I was in love with the potential, but the reality was not making sense. Okay, it was not making sense. So I stayed in this relationship. I knew I should have broken up with this guy a long time ago. Because this guy was like, he was 30 years old, okay? And he was just wasting my damn time. Okay, he was wasting my time. So this guy was trying to convince me to move to Hamburg. Like, my plan was to move to Berlin, right? But he wanted me to move to Hamburg, he wanted me to move with him because obviously he saw wifey in me. Like for him, I was his wife. But I mean, it's not a surprise, you know. I'm well raised, so he saw like wifey in me and whatever, but I wasn't really sure about him. And yeah, so long story is very short. I then, because he's quite manipulative, I then decided to move with him, which was a huge mistake. So I decided to move with him to Hamburg, to his apartment, instead of, you know, minding my business and moving to Berlin. I decided to move with him and move to Hamburg and study in Hamburg. And so I did that. So in 2016, we're now in April 2016, I moved with him. I moved into his apartment. I start studying and stuff like that. So 3 months later, I then find out that this guy was cheating. So like this guy, this boy,
What a goat.
okay, had the guts
What a goat.
to cheat on
Only
me,
a goat
okay?
can look at an unmarried one like me and cheat.
Long story short, I found out, I decided that I was gonna leave him. I was gonna move out immediately because, you know, I knew that cheating, it was something that I would never tolerate. Like, I don't know where it came from, but cheating was always something I always said, you know, I'm never gonna tolerate it, because before you cheat, there is like, it's just not like, it's not an accident, you know. It's not something like you just fall and whoops, I cheated. No, it's a process. It starts, you know, it starts in your mind. Like you make a decision to cheat. So I don't believe in all this, I was drunk and whatever. I don't believe in that. So, but even the way I found out, you know, was just madness. So this guy really cheated in like dirty way. Like the way he did it was just, I mean, and yeah, so I found out, right? And I decided I was gonna move out of his apartment. And now I was kind of in a position where I was like, I was in the city where I didn't actually have any friends. I moved to this city because of him, right? So now I am in this place and I'm studying, but I don't have an apartment now. I need to now look for a place to stay. So I was just really stressed, you know, looking for an apartment. So I was moving, like I was sharing like apartments with people I didn't know, literally. And that's another story. That was like really stressful. But I decided to continue my studies. I decided to still stay in Hamburg, in this, you know, that's where I'm living currently. I'm still living here. So yeah, so continuing with the story on how I came to Christ. So I was in this place where I was just I was heartbroken, but at the same time I was not surprised, because I kind of knew who he was, and I knew he was insecure. But I was just so confused, because like, why are you talking about marriage if you were gonna cheat on me? Like, why are you disturbing me with you want to marry me and stuff like that? And I mean, I am not in a rush, you know. I am just 21 years old. So so I was just confused. I was heartbroken. I was angry. I was angry at myself that I actually was so stupid to like move to move to Hamburg and whatever. So I was in this place where I was just so stressed and so yeah, I just had to like focus on my studies, and it was hard for me to like keep my focus, but I still decided to continue studying and whatever. So I was here and I was alone. Like, I felt lonely because I didn't really have friends here, and my friends were living in the city where my mom lives. So and yeah, so I was like here, and then one day I met this girl, and I knew her from like a beauty pageant, and I was, you know, I was running some errands or something, and someone called me, and it turned out to be a girl I knew from a beauty pageant from a long time ago, and she's a Christian, right? And she was actually here in Hamburg for like work for like 6 months. Like she was not going to stay for long, but she was staying here for like 6 months, and I was actually happy that, you know, I had someone I could hang out with. So we started hanging out, and she was trying to convince me, like she was actually looking for a church, and she was asking me if I knew a church here, but I wasn't going to church. I didn't know a church. And then she actually find a church, and she was trying to convince me to come with her to the church, and I wasn't convinced. Like I just didn't want it to go. But she eventually yeah, she succeeded, and then she convinced me then to follow her, and I followed her to the church. And now we're in like 2016. It's like November 2016, I think, October, November 2016. So I went with her to this youth church, and yeah, and it was like a lot of young people in this church, and I was very like impressed, because I felt like I haven't really seen a youth church before with young people. But yeah, but I wasn't really interested in Jesus, right? I was just interested in get to know new people. And I think at that time I saw a guy that I kind of thought was good looking, and so I started going to the Bible studies because of this guy. And yeah, so I wasn't really interested in knowing Jesus, right? I didn't really care that much about the Bible studies. So but then one day, we're now like in, let's say November, December 2016. This guy, there was one guy that was talking about, he was so transparent about his porn addiction, and I was so like touched. And the way he was talking about Jesus, like he was so transparent about, you know, how he was dealing with this porn addiction, and how this porn addiction was affecting his entire life, his family, his job, and how he was just really struggling with it. And he just shared like a testimony of how Jesus delivered him from that and from many other things. And I was so touched. And this was the first time I've ever gone to church. This was the first time I went to a church, and I was touched, you know. And I just couldn't stop thinking about this testimony this guy gave, and how he talked about Jesus, you know, and how Jesus saved him, and what a loving and what a loving God, and what a kind God we serve. Like, I didn't see Jesus in that way, you know. I didn't see Jesus in that way. I've never seen God in a way like that. But I still, like, I kind of believed it, and it touched my heart, but I was still struggling with actually believing it. Like, but I still was like, I still was thinking about it. I was thinking about it a lot. And one day, because I was still like heartbroken and full of hatred and full of anger because of my ex, and because he cheated, and because of all these things, and I was blaming myself, and I was stressed. I was also struggling financially, and I was just in a place of stress. And one day I had like a breakdown. It was like December 2016. Yeah, I think I had like a huge breakdown in my room, and I remembered the words of this guy, of his testimony, and I was just like, Lord, I don't know how to pray. I don't know who you are, but if you are real, if you are the good God that this guy was talking about, you know, if you really healed him and delivered him from all these things he said and all these addictions, I want you to do the same thing. Because I was in a place of, you know, I was just so full of fear and so full of anxiety, and there was so much brokenness in me that I didn't even know at that time. And I was just like, I knew that, you know, something was wrong, but I didn't know exactly what. Like, there was so many emotions in me, and yeah, I was just like, Lord, I need help. I need your help, and if you're real, then reveal yourself to me, you know. And yeah, so I was in my room and I was saying these words, and I was like, Lord, reveal yourself to me. I don't know how to pray. I don't know what to say, but you know, if you are really real, if you are real, and you know, show yourself to me just the way you showed yourself to that guy, you know. And yeah, so that's how my faith journey started. That was when, I think a few days later, I just started feeling this peace, you know. I started feeling this love. I can't describe it. It was like, it was something, I knew something changed. I knew something changed, and I just couldn't explain it. I knew something happened in my heart, something happened in my spirit at that moment. And yeah, and then all of a sudden I started, like, I had this desire to read the word. I was seeking God, I was reading the word, and I felt how the word of God was transforming me. I started reading the word of God on my phone and the train. I just couldn't get enough. I was just reading, and I just wanted to get to know who Jesus was. And yeah, so that's how everything started. And in 2017 now, yeah, that's where, like 2017, that's where I actually started, you know, reading the word of God for the first time. And yeah, in August 2017, I decided to get baptized, and then I got baptized. And yeah, so of course I wasn't getting everything right. Of course I still had, you know, faith. I was still struggling with my faith sometimes. Like, you know, I still was making mistakes, and you know, I still had a lot of questions. But I fell in love with Jesus. Like, I fell in love with Jesus, and no one could stop me. Like, no one could take that away from me. Like, I was really in love, and I was really, like, seeking him. And yeah, so that's where the journey started. And since then, great things have been happening. God has been revealing so much to me about myself, about him, about you know, my purpose, about what he wants me to do, where he wants me to go. And he has been transforming me, you know, since then. And I'm still learning, I'm still growing, you know. And I must say, it's not always easy, right? When I came to Christ in 2017, there were things that, you know, I had to let go. There were friends that, you know, my old friends I had in the old city. I kind of had to let them go. And it was also like God was just revealing to me that they were not my friends, and they didn't have good intentions for me, and which was true. I found that later. God was exposing so much, and it wasn't easy, but God gave me the strength. Even my studies, like, it's only by the grace of God. I'm very sure if I didn't have Jesus, in that time I would have given up on my studies, because I was really struggling with focusing. Like, I couldn't focus on my studies because I just didn't have peace. Like, I didn't have peace of mind. I was just so full of fear, and I was just so full of doubt, and yeah, so God really helped me through so much. And yeah, so that's how my faith journey actually started. And you know, now 3 years later, I'm still you know, in the game, you know. Still trying to love him, still trying to you know, walk according to his will, which is still not easy. You know, it's sometimes I have moments where I'm weak, you know. Yeah, so that's the story of how I got saved, you know. It's been a very interesting journey so far, and I'm excited for what's about to come. And I can only say, yeah, it's really worth it to just stay in the game and yeah, keep seeking God. See you on my next video, and make sure you subscribe, and yeah, I hope you like my video. Bye.